Hi everyone. Long time no video. I think it would have been around Punches time the last time I did a video for you guys. But I've had a few messages through my YouTube channel and direct messages through Twitter and stuff of people saying, are you going to be doing any more videos? Who do you fancy this season, etc. So a bit of a last minute thing. I just decided to do a video. I didn't know what to do it on. So what I've decided to do is 10 horses to look out for this season. Now, anyone could come up with 10 horses and go, oh, Thistlecrack, Q Card, any of these, and just say Douvan and go, oh yeah, God, they were all good. But I wanted to change it up a bit. So what I've done is I'm doing 10 horses, but only one from each stable, so you can't overload on Mullins or Nichols. And I'm also ruling out what I would call the stable superstars in many cases. Because, yeah, that would just be too easy, and I don't want to make it easy, and I want to go for something a bit different, and a lot of them are coming up in novice chases, etc. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, first horse I'm going to mention, I think it's worth following, is from the Dan Skelton yard, and that is Virgilio. Really good hurdler. I actually saw him in the flesh at Aintree at the Beachy Chase meeting in December last year, and he absolutely hosed up. I think I was actually on him that day, and he had a really, really good campaign. He's already had his chase debut and jumped for fun and buckled down really well. And as you saw last season, as the season got on, he did actually get a bit better through the winter months. He's still a very decent hurdler, but I think novice chasing could be his game. But Virgilio, I think, has got a very big future, and I think he is definitely one to follow, especially in novice chases. Next one I'm going to is the Malcolm Jefferson yard, and it's a horse that actually won on Chase debut the other day, and his name's Cloudy Dream. I don't think Cloudy Dream will be going necessarily for the massive popular novice chases, the grade ones, etc. But I think he's definitely a horse to follow on the Northern Circuit. I know it was only a 4-horse race, but he jumped for fun when he won at Carlisle. And what really impressed me was he was held up off a slow run race in a 4-horse race, but come through really well and then stayed on well to the line. He seems to handle all sorts of different ground, and I think Cloudy Dream is a really decent horse. Next one, another one who won, he's won a couple already, and I still think he's on the way up, and that is Tears of Clew Bay for Philip Hobbs. The manner of his win last time out was more impressive because of the way he travelled through his race. I think it was at Worcester, I'm not 100% sure, it could have been Worcester, I'm pretty sure. And he just travelled and you could spot him a mile off. Knuckled down to win in the end without being overexerted. I don't think he finds a great deal in front, but I still think he's learning the trade, and I still think he's getting fitter and fitter. So, as I said, it would have been easy to go for like a Garde La Victoire from Philip Hobbs or Menora or something, but I'm sticking with Tears of Clew Bay. He's definitely one for your trackers. Gordon Elliott has obviously got an array of horses now that he's taken over a lot from Jigginstown. But the horse I'm actually going with is from his yard, Diamond King. Won at the festival last year, the Coral Hurdle, really well, and ran a decent race at Punchestown in fourth, though, as he even said, everything went wrong for him in the race. He's going to make an even better novice chaser. And what I like about this horse is he's very good on what I call spring ground. So he could be the type for like maybe one of the, what was the Jewson Novices Chase at Cheltenham, that type of thing, 2.5 miles, fast ground. Also, Aintree would come onto the radar for him, the Mughal Novice. And I think Diamond King, especially in the spring months, is going to be an exciting horse. From the Alan King yard, I suppose you could say he's a stable star now. I'm going to actually pick from him So Royale. Started last season really well and then went completely off the boil over the spring months. Didn't run well at the festival, even worse at Aintree. Though, as Alan King said in his stable tour back in the summer, everything was wrong with him there. He's come back a stronger, fitter horse, and the manner in which he won at Cheltenham on Saturday blew my mind, to be honest with you. I've never seen a horse finish up the hill like that. He's started to even get champion hurdle quotes now. Might be a bit premature for that, but that was on good ground. Now, the interesting one is there was a decent Paul Nicholls horse, name escapes me at the moment, last season, and So Royale actually beat him. It was Adrian Dupont, I think it was, and So Royale beat him at Chepstow on heavy ground. So this horse has got, obviously he's got stamina, he's got speed to burn, so the upside to this is I think he'll handle most extremes of ground. Next one I'm going to is the John Joe Neal Yard, and more of that. I think he's going to make into a top class chaser. He was obviously favourite and beaten in the RSA last year, or this year I should say, because it was in March. But he was not beaten that far in third, and he was there right to the end. But he did get a nasty cut to his leg after that, and we didn't see him again. Obviously, he was a world hurdle winner, and it had been off again, so he's clearly got his problems. But if John Joe can get him fit and well and moving, I think he could literally make into a top class stay-in chaser. I really do think that. Even though, for some people they weren't overly impressed with him last year, I think he's going to get better as he gets older. Next one, going to the Martin Keithley Yard. And obviously, I could have gone for my boy, could have gone for any currency and said, yeah, this is the horse to go. But as I said, I'm going to try and vary it up a bit. And I'm actually picking what's likely to be a novice chaser from the yard, and that is another one of my favourites, Solstice Star. He was an absolute star last year, winning multiple hurdles, got placed, I think it was in the Imperial at Sandown just before the festival. Looked like he had won it, but Flying Angel got him after the last, but it was still a cracking run. But I think he's going to make into an even better novice chaser. He might even start off on Friday at Uttoxeter, I'm not 100% sure. But he is a novice chaser to follow for me. Big upside as well as he loves Cheltenham, and that's always a huge draw for me. Any horse that can go well at Cheltenham is a good horse in my book. Goes hard from the front. He's got the pace for 2 miles, but he's also won over the likes of 2 mile 3. So he's going to be quite. I think he's going to be quite interesting over a variety of trips. And they've also got the option of dropping him back down for hurdles as well. So Solstice Star is the pick from the Keithley Yard, and that leaves us with the final 3, which is going to come from Nichols, Mullins and Henderson. Starting with Nicky Henderson, I'm actually going for Altior here, winner of the Supreme Novice. I know Min is really fancied by the Mullins Yard. I know things might not have gone his way at Cheltenham in March and other things, but Altior's turn of foot was unbelievable. I haven't seen that for a long time. Almost, dare I say, Isterbrack-esque, the way in which he travelled and quickened through the race. I'm actually quite surprised that it looks like he's going novice chasing, because I think, the champion hurdle, Annie Power got it last year, but there's not that much opposition necessarily. Depends what happens with Fahim now. I would have probably gone for a champion hurdle, but hey, I'm not Nicky Henderson, I'm not a trainer. And if he thinks novice chasing's the way, then novice chasing's the way. You've seen the likes of Sprinter Sacre in the Arkle, Simon Sig. He's got a good record. He knows what he's doing, Nicky Henderson. So Altior, I think, could be destined for the top. Willie Mullins, obviously, I could have gone for one of 150 for Willie Mullins, but the horse I came down on the side of was the Mer Vroom Vroom Mag. Obviously won the Mer's Hurdle with ridiculous ease at Cheltenham. As Willie said afterwards, he got the pace for 2 miles. Could have gone for the World Hurdle at 3, won this over 2.5, but this horse wins over hurdles, wins over fences, and they can mix and match between the two. It wouldn't surprise me if Vroom Vroom Mag ends up in the Gold Cup. I don't think Jack Adam is a full 3 mile 2 Gold Cup horse. I don't think he's got the stamina for it, and that's been the horse Willie's relied on heavily the last 2 years in the Gold Cup, so it would not surprise me if, even though she's a mare, putting that going towards the Gold Cup. But as I said, you've got such a talented horse here. Just travels so well. But even if it's dropped in off the front, however you want to run it, it's just ridiculously good horse. So Vroom Vroom Mag is the pick for me. And that finally leaves the champion trainer, which is Paul Nichols. Again, multitude of different horses. But I'm actually going on the side of Au Petit Soin. Won at the festival on his English debut 2 years ago. He's just a very good horse. Was off for a long time and was actually brought back in the World Hurdle. Now, to come back in a World Hurdle after so long was a bold move, shall we say the least. But other than Thistlecrack coming down the hill, he was the only horse travelling and blew up a fair bit in the home straight. But it was such a promising comeback effort, and clearly he has bags and bags of stamina. But he's also won over 2 miles, so he's, you know what I mean, he's got that flexibility. He's going novice chasing, and I think he's along the lines of an Alfaroff type. He's going to be a better chaser than he was hurdler, I think. And yeah, he's got the stamina, I think, for 3 miles. I think you could drop him to 2.5. And yeah, Paul Nicholls as well, very good with his novice chasers, and I think he could be going places. It's an exciting season in progress. So to recap through the list: from the Skelton Yard, Virgilio; from the Malcolm Jefferson Yard, Cloudy Dream; then from Philip Hobbs, Tears of Clew Bay; from Gordon Elliott, Diamond King; Alan King, So Royale; John Joe Neal, More of That; Martin Keithley, Solstice Star; Nicky Henderson's Yard, Altior; Willie Mullins's Vroom Vroom Mag; and Paul Nicholls, Au Petit Soir. So let's see how they get on throughout the season. As always, any questions, any comments, lob them up on the page, and yeah, fingers crossed we start winning. Oh, you ran into watching it today. Thistlecrack's debut today over fences 1 to 10. Not backing it because I'm not at that price, but it'll be really interesting to see how he gets on. Okay, take care, guys. See you soon.